I suppose it would be a legitimate question, particularly when you look around a town like this, 1,200 people on the banks of the Ohio River, isolated pretty much from any large metropolitan area. What in the world somebody who has spent much of his life here would be able to bring to a sophisticated student in Washington, D.C. at a very fine institution, American University. There probably is, however, something that I can bring. Won't be unique, but it may be useful. And that is that what I always thought about this town when Nina and I and the two kids first came here was that Augusta, Kentucky was exactly what Thomas Jefferson had in mind when it came to describing democracy. He didn't like big cities because he thought that big cities did not lend themselves to a democracy. There were too many influences, too many people who began to press against democracy and against the equality of opportunity. A little town like this is a bite-sized democracy, where the mayor is also the druggist, you know. So you can go over and say, "Hey, Louis, fix the pothole," you know. Where there is a this, therefore that reaction to whatever is asked and done, and whatever the community's opinion is immediately known because you know all the people. There are only 1,200 of you, so you can work it out. Maybe being able to take that microcosm and replant it within big cities, in different areas of big cities, where we can become neighborhoods again, where we can talk to one another again, where we can have a civil dialogue, which has been lost in so much of our nation. Maybe I'm remembering things better than they were, but it seemed to me we were a little better at talking to one another years ago. So if I can transplant some of that into a classroom, which will be just, what, I don't know how many, 20 kids, 30 kids, whatever it is. If I can talk to them the way I talk to the people here in Augusta, and more importantly, the way they talk to me, believe me, I'm going to get it. I'm going to get pushback from these kids. They're going to say things to me like, okay, you say journalism's in a mess. There you were in it for 50 years. Why didn't you fix it? It's a perfectly good question, to which I do not have a great answer. But maybe if we dig around with one another, I can give them the view from Augusta, and they can give me the view from Washington. And somewhere around Cumberland, Maryland, maybe we'll come to a recognition of what the great American experiment is all about, what its condition is, and what its outlook is. So I expect to learn, and I expect to teach, and Augusta's going to help me do both.